Season 4, Episode 2 of Moshi Moshi Podcast Des. I'm Zach here with
Lincoln. It's me! Dogs don't know it's me.
Lincoln Bits. That's the new sponsor for the show.
No, that sounds horrifying. Like, stop.
It makes me think of Cujo. It's coming for you. It's coming for you.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do one thing. I'll be right back.
Oh, what? Okay. So I'll fill for time as we are live.
No, I'm joking. It was like 2 seconds, man.
Hey, look. The first week we did this, we didn't even archive the episode. So
That's true.
So anything's an improvement.
Anything's an improvement. So they're just like, hey, what you guys doing? Why are you in my house? You didn't ask my question, so why did you ask me one? You're in my house. Who are you people? Why are there multiple people here?
Oh man.
Like there were multiple stars in the show that I watched on Netflix. Transition.
Transition.
So I watched Popstar finally. Well, actually, that wasn't even on Netflix. It showed up on there, but I watched it finally. Because reasons. I don't know what was happening for the last week. I just watched a lot of Saturday Night Live and then watched shorts and then realized there was a lot of digital shorts I did not watch.
Wait.
And of course, huh?
Which ones didn't you see? Because Dick in a Box, Lazy Sunday.
Well, yeah, those are the
Cake on the Floor,
the classics. But there was some that was where they're like, we have the Staten Island Zoo, and they were having they talked about sloths. And dude, because the fun part on that one was it reminded me of the Halifax and the so it was that little clip is where the sloths? Man, I was like, what the? I was like, holy crap! But yeah, so those are I've seen. They also talked about giraffes and how they're aliens and shit like that. Which, to be honest, giraffes are probably one of the weirdest animals that we have on Earth, aside from the platypus, which is a animal that has a beaver tail, a duck bill, sweats milk, and is poisonous. Also, is a mammal, so it has eggs.
Well, everything just has to have eggs,
Oh, you know what I mean.
No,
we don't just come out.
I like scrambled eggs Benedict, all kinds of eggs.
How weird would life have been if we actually came out as eggs? I almost it's just you gotta break the shell. It was almost as weird as that question I asked. We always think that the whole thing about humans having intelligence was a curse because then we have just doubt and despair and all that other shit. But as animals, that would be horrible. Just straight up, just you have intelligence. Try to live a society, but also have instincts that tell you everything's prey and everything's predator. It would be just a bad situation.
Fight or flight. You gotta survive.
It would just be horrible. But so I watched Popstar because Adam Sandler, he's very funny.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nine-Nine?
So
so I was okay, let me watch this. People have told me about it a long time. It was very again interesting and funny because I can't remember what his name in the show is.
I don't remember either.
Who he was playing as. I can't remember because I'm just it's that
research.
My brain was just
we got no
whatever
research.
he wants to be called. It's Adam. It just done. But of course, he was part of a 3-man band. And of course, it's the same 3 men who are Lonely Island, so it's just haha, make it fair. But something apparently happened where he pretty much came up in the spotlight over the 3. One got pissed off for good reasons because of the fact that he took credit for something. He's I made up your fucking your catchphrases, and then you took credit for it, so I'm pissed, which makes sense. Duh. So of course, I think his name was Connor. think that's his name. How fucking. But yeah, he became the top guy. he also, and then like he had his other friend, which he pretty much downgraded, like because he used to do all the beats, and then he was like, oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna try doing this all by myself, make my own beats, make my own lyrics, and that's where the shit goes and kind of hits the fan because he doesn't know how to make lyrics. His beats were kind of whatever, and like his lyrics were kind of like, I wanted, they were like not even like even racist or anything or like pretty bad. It was mostly because of the fact they were bad. Like what?
Well, I was about to say maybe not racist, but there's the one song where he's like, "I'm not gay. I'm not Budweiser,
Exactly,
bald eagles. I'm not gay."
That was where it was like, okay, so you're like discriminatory, and also you're late because gay marriage was already a thing. Why? Because he was like trying to like, oh, I want to be saying about gay marriage and make it legal. I'm like, it's legal, especially where the fuck you are. Like, what is wrong with you? And and then he kept going like, I'm not gay, but I'm okay with gay people. I'm not gay, gay. And they're like, he's at them getting wedding, and he's like, I'm gay, and he's not gay. And it's like.
Or
I'm just like, this is gay marriage. Like, what the fuck are you smoking?
Or one of my favorite songs from there, Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit.
I think
someone's got to tell the world.
I love this. Like, I'm gonna fuck her. Like we fucked Ben Lyons.
Yes,
like,
yes. I mean, hey, that's an adequate description of what he wanted to do.
She wore the turban and everything. I was like, Which, hey, if that's what you're into, do you? I guess as long as no one gets hurt, or if you guys have to, you have to have consent. You should not just like surprise, like
surprise sex.
That's how murder happens. Surprise sex.
I think there's the name of the episode right there.
That's when you know you're like in a old, like you're in a long marriage. Just like surprise. She's just like, just don't wake me up. How is that even?
just don't wake me up. Just leave me a note in the morning to let me know that it was done. Really turns me on.
And clean up. It really turns me on. I like to be fucked in my sleep without waking up. Like. Which that would be a weird situation to get fucked and then like in the middle of it wake up and kind of be like, why did you wake me up? Like, no, I'm angry. Like, what? You just woke up to sex that you know of. Like, know of. I think if it was just like, what's it? Who are you? It's like, shh, just let it happen. Hell no, what the fuck? But yeah, that movie was funny in hell, of course. Had a good story, even though it's kind of the story that always happens. Like bands get together, they're normally friends or at least become friends, and then somebody gets a big ass head and do something stupid. Normally it happens because like before we even started the show, we were talking about like, the Beatles, of course, and like other bands. Kind of like woman comes in, things happen because of woman. Band breaks up, or sometimes guys. Which is weird. I don't hear it a lot from like the girl bands as much. Maybe because I don't follow that as crazy. But like most of them they break. Like I don't even know why Paramore broke up so many fucking times. I don't even know what was the story.
I didn't even know that Paramore broke up once.
So
I'm out of the loop.
I don't like.
Tell me more.
I don't think it's like breaking up. Like, but every single time I hear, like, they always make a song where they're like, we thought we were done, but we're not giving up. I'm like, when was there an issue? Like, I don't like. I guess they don't become news. I don't fucking know.
I mean, well, you get into a real problem if you have a band where it's like, say, in a Paramore, maybe not in a Paramore situation, but if you had a band like Paramore where the lead singer is a woman and the other members are all guys, when one of the guys dates the lead singer, and then it gets all messy, and then you get.
Well, that's why I was thinking what might have happened was like maybe one person was like, I like this girl, which could make sense. Like, I was thinking what like Black Eyed Peas, like, which was not the issue. I found out because it's just that Fergie's a fucking drug addict,
and that she likes and that she likes to piss herself on stage.
I did not even know that.
No, there's a clip out there. It was on the internet like a decade ago. I guess they were doing a concert and she pissed herself, I guess, while she was singing. I don't know. I don't get into.
Well, drugs can do things like it's not good. It's resource poison, pretty much.
Yes.
Well, aside from like apparently weed that wasn't Popstar, which I'm like, okay, of course they're gonna get high, but
Of course.
but it was a fun story. I gave it like a solid 8. It was watchable. It was good and funny.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like there's a lot of things, which is weird because we were talking about music, and then I had to hear about like Kanye West cheated on Kim Kardashian or whatever. Apparently they're through. I was like, why?
I heard about that, and it was like odd because they said that he cheated on her with Jeffree Star, which I mean, hey, okay. I mean, Kanye's an eccentric dude. So I mean, if you
wait, who's like I now need to see who this is.
Oh yes, please search up Jeffree Star live on the show.
Well, no one.
You will be shocked if you've never seen Jeffree Star.
Oh no.
Live reactions for.
Is my face showing it? I'm sorry. I just really. What happened?
It's a beautiful twisted dark fantasy. That's what happened.
What? So did South Park get it right and he does like fish?
I mean, yeah. I'll give it to you. He's not. Well, but wait a second. That means that you're making the allegation that Jeffree Star is a fish. So,
just because he's at the market doesn't mean he has to be the. I'm done. Fuck it. Anyway, but which is a weird thing about the cheating and like you're a star. Why are these like? Why is this the thing that happens? The same thing with like Jay-Z, which was the best one ever. Like Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. I'm like, Jay-Z cheated on Queen Bee. Okay, cool.
Is he nuts?
Jay-Z, ugliest. I don't know. Like to me, everyone. I've been asked this question for some fuck reason, but like people are like, I don't know how Jay-Z's with Beyonce. I'm like, I guess Jay-Z's fun to be around. Like with Beyonce, like they seem like they have chemistry. I don't know what it is.
It's all about The Rock. That's why.
But it seems like they have chemistry. But like Jay-Z is ugly. I don't care what I'll say straight up. He could at me on Twitter. He knows he's ugly, man. He just is. Like he just does not have good facial features. Like,
he looks like he got beat up with a bat in the middle of Brooklyn. Someone just went kick.
It's kind of almost the same like. Sylvester Stallone is not a good-looking person. He's just not.
Hey,
how you do that? Don't talk to me like that. But yeah, like he and I'm just like, how you cheating? Same thing with like Tiger. I still remember, which was I think this was hilarious coincidence with the whole Tiger Woods thing. Was like Tiger Woods like try to pretty much renounce his blackness because people were like, oh yeah, he's black and we like that he's black and whatever. And everything like that. And then he kind of just renounced the fact. He's like, no, I'm Asian. Pretty much, he was pretty much saying. And then, like, and it was, like, hilarious because I'm like, oh, that's funny that you just say you're Asian. And then he got in trouble for the whole cheating thing with a girl from home. I'm like, bro, you're Tiger Woods at the top of your game at that point. And then he's just like, I'm going to cheat with some random woman at home. I'm like, you could choose multiple things. Or don't cheat. Like, I don't understand. Like,
well, and not only, like, the fact that happened, but then after it all blew up in his face, I think his game went, like, downhill for a whole decade.
His game went to shit. Yeah, his game went to shit. No one cared about. So I'm like, dude, like, you renounced the audience, which, why would he... Black people don't, like, stereotypically, we're not watching fucking golf. Like, it's not our sport.
This ain't happening.
Especially because it's not even fun. Like, golf had a rumor, which I found out is a lie, but golf had a thing that pretty much said, like, that it was apparently rumored to be an anagram that said, gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. That's what apparently the rumor was. It's wrong. It's false. That's not where golf gets its name. But that just tells you, like, it's not for black. Like, black people are not going there. But when we're like, hey, Tiger Woods, he's black. We're gonna watch golf. Our man's there, and then you just go, I'm gonna renounce this whole fucking community that supported me. Don't do like, shit. Now I forgot his name. Wakanda.
Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman.
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 Is it
Yep.
Boseman? Or, yeah.
It's Boseman. Yeah.
Boseman. Sorry. So when apparently like this, I think I've talked about it on the show before, but when he was doing everyone's doing the Wakanda Forever and shit, and he was like, oh, I don't like doing that. He was telling his mom this, and his mom's like, what are you talking about? They love you. Just do it. Like, is it hurting you? I'm like, yeah, like, people are supporting you for your art and, like, for the fact that you're representing the black community. Just go with it. Like, why denounce this as your community?
Yeah.
So that was stupid with Tiger Woods. I'm just like, bro, like, karma came at you.
on a side note, I think it was, like, last week or a couple days ago, you had posted a photo from a long time ago, and you said, like, I think you noticed that, like, it was a photo of us and a bunch of other friends.
Oh, yeah.
You had a Black Panther t-shirt, and you were doing the Wakanda in 2011. So
I didn't even know. I was just like,
Lincoln did it first. He did it first before the movie ever came out. This dude was on board, so if you think he wasn't a fan, he's a fan.
I don't know what my hands were like in that position.
You were just like,
I just looked at him, just like, I did it before anyone else.
and I looked at that photo, and for years, like, I never noticed that, and then I noticed it when you posted it, and I saw your shirt, and I go, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like an Easter egg. It was hidden all these years.
All this time. But yeah, no, this is on my Facebook if you ever want to find that little nugget. We're not gonna post it here.
Yeah.
We have to like blur faces. Like, this is not a person. This is not.
You don't know who this is. You never met this person before in your life, and you never will.
Da da da. But yeah, coming off of people and going into Transformers,
robots in disguise. Well, we were talking about Jeffree Star, so close to Transformer.
Wow, no,
not acceptable. Not acceptable, Joe.
No, not acceptable.
I don't even know if Jeffree Star considers himself or herself. I don't know, and I won't assume.
It's a very weird. I still remember that whole, which is weird because now going back to Kardashians, I'm pretty sure that Caitlyn, if I'm saying the word right,
yes,
the name right, yeah, Caitlyn is has yet to make the transition complete. I'm like,
well,
I kind of knew that was gonna happen. I was like, okay, yeah, so he's going. He's like, I've always wanted to be a woman. At 60, I don't know, like, but things happen.
Lifelong goal.
I get it. Lifelong goal. I get it. And then I'm just like, I bet you he's gonna stop when he gets to the penis. Because I'm just like, it's gone. Once it happens, there's no way to like. I remember like looking up what the transition means, and it's a lot of surgery. It's a lot of shit going.
Yeah.
It's almost like it shouldn't have happened. I'm just kidding. It's almost like you're defying science. It's just like, you want us to do what? Yeah, I need you to put it back in.
Well, look, there's no going back. That's the problem. So if you have regrets, you're in the wrong business for the regrets.
Because people like, you get a tattoo and then you regret it, and it's like, we can take away the tattoo. You won't have skin the way it's supposed to have, but transitions of going from being a man to being a woman, out of the wheelhouse for now.
Some things are permanent.
Maybe if we had some research. Fuck it. No, I just always bring it up. I'm like, maybe if, I don't know, we took from placentas and used the fucking miracle of life. It could change into anything. I don't know why people are not doing this. Anyway, but yeah, Transformers. I watched it. It was a Netflix show. I think it was like what 8 episodes probably,
Hmm.
which is weird because they did Transformers Prime, which I talked about. It's pretty much like was it Cybertron? Like I can't remember what the game was called because it was like a trilogy.
You mean the PlayStation 3 game?
Yeah, which
I think
apparently was amazing, but I never played.
I think it was called like War on Cybertron.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. War on Cybertron or of Cybertron? Something.
I think it's
like
War on Cybertron, but it was made by Platinum Games, which explains why it's so amazing. Like out of all the game companies to do like a licensed Transformer game, you got Platinum fucking Games to make a game for you. That's amazing.
Hey man, as long as Michael Blay was nowhere on the fucking set when that shit explosions, and I love the army, and people are like, I don't know why Transformers is so much about these humans. I'm like, because Michael Blay fucking loves the army, because that's why every fucking Transformers was literally just like the army. You can join and do like Transformers. I'm like, I don't want Transformers to be a thing that happens in reality. 2, I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I've seen the movies. Normally, you're going to get crushed. Optimus Prime, he ain't catching you in his hand. Guess what his hand's made of? Metal.
Yeah.
You going to fall on metal and just like, I'm perfectly fine. No! Like, Sam Wiki would have lost his goddamn spine like half of the show. Or, my favorite scene will always be him running upstairs with the heart, or I think it was like the Cyber Matrix or some BS, whatever it was. And running upstairs, running like a track star and holding that thing. And I'm like, that weighs a ton. Seeing how it's the density of an engine. He's not running up anything with that. Also, he's supposed to have average or below average stamina. I'm not running like that. Never in a million years. That would not, I don't care what fear that is. 25 flights of stairs and I'm out. This man ran 50 flights of stairs with geek level precision and holding something that's supposed to be a ton and then being able to lift it. I was like, nah, I'm good. But yeah,
Superhuman.
Not happening. But like, this is where we're talking about Megatron. We're talking about like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, because this is first generation and Bumblebee. I guess it would be because of Transformers, so good on them for make the movies. Like, Bumblebee skyrocketed into like popularity because I was like, this is the greatest character ever. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, you're like as a person who's watched many Transformers cartoons, you're like, yeah, Bumblebee's okay.
Which is weird because I can't even say anything because my favorite character is actually Starscream, and I don't like it. It's just like he's a bitch, but he makes the story go along because he keeps going against Megatron, and yet Megatron constantly keeps him around. I'm just like, this man has tried to kill you and overmind you multiple fucking times. Kill him.
It's like, if you haven't found a way to beat him now, when are you ever going to find a way?
Like, because Starscream is pretty much like how Vegeta was before he ever joined with Goku. Like, it was just like, yes, Frieza, I will never go against you. Oh, is this the launch pad to the... Just sends him out there.
Kakarot.
Like, I took control of this. And then Frieza comes back. Oh, I'm so sorry, Vegeta. And you're like, what the fuck?
Who's the real prince now?
Pretty much. But yeah, so Transformers Earthrise is the second part of Prime, where at this point, like, Megatron was like, I was gonna take this, I think it's the seed. I think that's what they call it. I can't remember now. But just like, I'm gonna take this because it's supposed to revitalize Cybertron, but of course, Megatron was gonna use it to make everyone just a Decepticon. I guess.
Why not?
And yeah, so Optimus Prime throws into a space bridge and then like sends it to the infinite of space, of course. And then they go onto the Ark and then kind of went out there. But of course, what we learned in Earthrise is that the Ark pretty much just went into like stasis and everyone kind of just like powered down. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. there's some mercenaries or bounty hunters that I was like, okay. There's this whole like it was just a weird like, oh, because Transformers is weird because there's so much mythos about like robotic sentient creatures. And I'm just like, this is weird. Like that was always the weird thing about Transformers is that like that's about like, oh, they don't have to eat or sleep pretty much, but they like
They
what? Have Enertron and shit like that.
Yeah, what does Optimus Prime do like in the middle of the night? Like they never really show them like hanging out. What like does he just like waste time like playing video games? Does he sit around and look at the stars and go, "Wow, Earth, so cool"?
Because they like kind of just like they can like, oh okay, we're just gonna save on power and kind of just like go comatose for a little bit, but they don't dream. But yeah, and this, I guess, it's a weird thing about being human and be like, we have to do these things, and it would be so weird not to do. That's why if you ever see any movie where like somebody's turning like more heroic or more alien, once they start losing the ability to sleep or eat or drink, they start like losing their humanity, which wouldn't fucking happen. You wouldn't just stop being moral just because you're like, oh, I don't have to sleep anymore. I guess I don't have to love anymore. Like, where's the gap here?
Well, it just makes you go insane because you're not eating, and if you're not eating, then your brain's not getting the right nutrients, and then you're not sleeping, so then your brain's also.
Well, that's if you need the nutrients. If your body could react without sleep or drink, you'll be fine.
That'd be great.
But like, I think like the weirdest thing is like I think we could get to a point where we don't have to eat or drink, but sleep is too crucial. Like because sleep, especially scientists. Like, if you don't get REM sleep or whatever, your brain's not processing things right while you're sleeping. That's why you start getting, like, mental problems. It's like, oh, yeah, you're not sleeping right. And you're like, you're not dreaming right, so you're going to start, like, getting to a point where you're like, I'm not, like, functioning properly. I'm not retaining things normally and forgetting shit. And getting dementia, like things like that will start happening. So it will be very hard for us as humans to like get to a point where like you don't have to sleep anymore or dream or shit. Like you just need to just be awake. Also, it would kind of suck because I fucking know that if we didn't have to sleep, capitalism or whatever consumerism's like, why are we only giving them 8 hours of work? Make them work for 16 hours. Like, it would just get bad.
But then you'd have this strange scenario where like time would cease to be like a constraint. Like movies. Oh, we're gonna release this movie 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. like TV networks. Hey, let's just put this shit on at any time we want. It doesn't matter. People don't sleep anymore.
Yeah, it would be very like. It would be very weird just not to have to sleep and not have to like. Also, like, I don't get bored a lot, but I know there's times where after a while, if you get too late at night, you're just getting to a point where you're just like, I'm just gonna watch YouTube because my brain is not functioning enough for me to like be actively productive. Like most people are not writing their novel at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, there are some people, some creative types that work well in the middle of the night, but most people do not prefer to be up in the middle of the night doing anything, especially if they're working a full-time job or they have kids or family. I mean, it's like, forget about it. You're lucky if you can get sleep in general, much less. Yeah.
Well, and even then, like, it also gets to the point, like, I'm using 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock at night, like, but it's predominantly like if you're awake for more than 16 hours, once you get past that 60-hour mark, you're getting closer and closer to your time. Your brain's just like, I'm not functioning right. So you're just like, yeah, you might be able to do it at 4 o'clock in the morning if you wake up at 12. but if you're waking up at 8 o'clock and you're staying up to 4, your brain's like, I'm not here right now. Like, you're going to get to a point where you're hysteria and, like, where you'll see a fly hit a wall and be like, ha, 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 ha.
I mean, I read an article somewhere, and this is going to be paraphrasing because it's not the exact science, but it said that if you stay up for days at a time, the effect on your brain is similar to if you drank like a shit ton of beers or just alcohol in general. So like it's just like you start losing your cognitive functions. You just start like, doing dumb shit. Like you just,
pretty much, and like and the worst thing is you'll get more and more times where you go into places which I, to this day, will always hate going anywhere and going, why am I here? And then instantly leaving the room and your brain's like, you need water, dumb fuck. You're like, oh my
god. Who am I? Why am I here? I need to sleep.
Oh, well, no, those are only drunk times, like where drunk Lincoln has waking up, gone into the shower, put on the clothes of my shower, and then going, oh yeah, this is my room. Like, how would you not know? Just freak the hell out of me because I'm like, wait, so I would have just showered in somebody else's house and then be like, where's my clothes?
Yeah, it's like the first thing is like, not that you didn't recognize that you were in your own room, but the fact that you were like, oh, I was ready to go. I was ready to shower in someone's random ass shower. That's quite the thought process. But.
Well, yeah, it's the same process of why normally, like, if I drink and then wake up the next morning, I wake up early because my brain constantly remembers college and being like, it's 7 o'clock. You have to leave this person's house. You have to go home. Like
this person has a life to get to, and you're getting in the middle of it by still being here.
Well, at least I never had to do like the walk of shame, like some people,
no.
where it's just like I have to leave because they have to do life. Or well, that's actually a walk of shame is normally like you did the do, and then you're like at 12 o'clock at night, you have like, what are you doing here? You're like, oh. You're like trying to helicap.
This is a full quick funny story, but in college I had a friend. Well, we had a party in my apartment, and then one of my friends was like, he was too drunk, and I was like, hey man, he's not driving home, so he was sleeping on my floor in my room, just sleeping on the floor of my room. I'm on my bed. I wake up, I turn on the TV. It's Saturday morning. And this was when they still had Saturday morning cartoons. They had like Vortex or whatever it was.
Damn.
So Yu-Gi-Oh was on, and I'm just like half hungover, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Yu-Gi-Oh on Sunday. Or Saturday. I don't give a shit. So I just turned it on, and then he wakes up, and he's like, is that Yu-Gi-Oh? Awesome. And then he just gets up and leaves. I go, see you later, man.
Well, at least you knew him.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, if somebody was drunk and they wanted to drive, it wouldn't matter if they were a friend or not. But most of the people that would stick around at my place were usually my friend, people I knew.
Oh yeah. No, but it's true. Like you don't want to have somebody like, oh yeah, they drove and died. That
would suck.
That's on my conscience. Well, dude, it's almost as bad as like that one time my friend drove me home and then told me like while we got to the dorms was like, I don't even know how we got here. And I'm just like, and then I sobered up for a good 2 whole minutes. Like, I was just like, I could have died in my sleep. Just find myself in heaven. like legit, like just like, why would you tell me this? Don't.
Things could have turned out totally different for me.
Like now I'm gonna have this whole thing where like, am I dreaming? But then, of course, I know I'm not dreaming because I hope to God that in my paradise of coma, that I wouldn't just like dream of going to work. Like I hope that my creative mind that thinks of dragons and shit would not just go work a 9 to 5.
You're sitting in your cube. Boss comes over, yells at you, and you go, "Fuck you! This is my dream." And it's like, oh wait, that's when you sober up. You're like, I'm not in a dream. Deep. That's all, folks.
Get him! No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so
back to Transformers. Yeah.
So Transformers, they had the whole space bridge thing. There was like pirates and stuff. The reason why I went on a tangent was legit. Like this was a weird like. Oh, so there's Marauders. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, there was a god of Cybertron. Don't fucking know what this is about. Cool. I guess I wasn't part of this deep lore crap. But then Shockwave was apparently it's like, I took away my personality. Like, that was just a thing you could just do? I'm like, I'm just going to accept it. But of course, Megatron follows to try to go after Optimus Prime, because even though Megatron's constantly like, I'm doing this for the sake of Cybertron, I'm like, I don't think you know, like, that's the weird part about Megatron is he's like, I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm like, I don't think you know what the greater good is. I think you constantly do bad things and literally be like, but I'm the leader of the Decepticons. I have to do this. Like, no, you don't. What the fuck? Stop doing bad things.
Yeah, no one's telling you to do nothing. It's like, but I have a duty. I must do this.
Like, he just constantly keeps like, yeah. Like, he's like the worst version of a villain, because he's just like, no, I'm doing good. You're enslaving people. He's like sucked the souls out of the Decepticons. Like, no, but I need the Enertron to put into the Ark so I can go after Optimus and get the seed. So of course I'm doing good. I'm like, okay, so what happens to the Decepticons that you zap their life force in? Oh, but I'm doing it for the good of the Decepticons. I mean, the ones you just killed? Like, they can't come back. Like, this is not how that works. You just suck them into, like, a vat. Which, that was just a disturbing thought process of just, like, how would that be? Like, that would be horrible if we could just harness life force. It would be like what Final Fantasy did, where it's like, wait, we're killing the planet? You suck the life force out of the Earth. What do you think was going to happen? I thought the Earth could just bring it back. No! Nothing can bring back its own life force. Can you come from the dead? I don't think...
You know who can bring back the life force? Sephiroth!
No, okay. But yeah, so it's just a weird thing with Megatron. But yeah, he goes after them. There's a lot of other random things, but I don't want to spoil it. But the ending, they get to Earth, and what I perceived is the prehistoric time, because I saw a raptor, but then I saw its eye turn into like a robotic eye.
Wait, so are we getting Beast Wars?
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
because if we're getting Beast Wars, then Netflix subscription, getting right now.
Well, dude, like it. I always want to watch Beast Wars, but I know it's so old my brain. It's gonna be like, this is very bad graphics. I cannot go through this. But I know, like, I don't want nostalgia, and also because it's so old, I don't want to be proven wrong. I can be like, this is really bad.
Yes.
Nostalgia. That's what happened with Tenchimu. Like, I watch it again. I'm like, this was not good.
I mean, we've brought this subject up on the show. Like, Rocket Power is a great example of a show that I loved as a kid. I've seen episodes of it since, and it does not hold up, and I feel real bad about it.
It's just like, this is my golden child. Same thing where, like, I tried watching Sailor Moon all over again, and I'm just like,
well,
yeah, this was one of those shows that was good to watch week by week and was technically forced into. Marathoning this, you're just like, every episode is her having a situation that, to a grown-ass man, seems like, you should probably have used logic. It's like, you should probably have used logic or something. Like, why are you being stupid about this? And then that's all that happens. And then Tiara comes out of nowhere. You're like, okay, I guess that's how it happens. And then the season finale is just legit. Oh, cool. Tiara didn't work? Use something randomly that you sprung out of your ass. Awesome. That's how this season ends. You're like, I guess.
or like G Gundam, where that's
dude, you fucked my whole life with that, because I loved
so did I
love G Gundam, and then watching that all over again, I'm like, I am sick and tired of Domu. I am sick and tired of this, but I love him. How do you not know he loves? I'm like, if this girl talks to you, and that's the only person she talks to, she likes you. Like I hate this concept, dude. Reading visual novels, you're just like, she lives with you. She's the only one. You're the only one she talks to. She likes you. I don't. How are you not knowing this?
But see, for me, my biggest gripe wasn't the character developments or any of the relationships. It was the nature of the show and how, like, similar to Sailor Moon
or Power Rangers
or literally any serial
kind of shit.
Yes, because it's like, you know, when you're watching it, like, 14 years old on Cartoon Network on a Saturday afternoon. Like, you're like, this is the best Gundam I've ever seen since Gundam Wing, and I've only seen G Gundam and Gundam Wing. but it looks so awesome, and then you realize, like, okay, 5 episodes of it, you don't notice it. 10, 15, 20 episodes, you're like, oh no. and then you watch the entire show, and you're like, okay, that...
I had to take breaks.
Yeah.
I had to take breaks of that. I was just like, no.
Gundam fight! Go!
The only show I know that hold up, like, even the stuff, because I remember I watched Zoids again, and I still fucking love Zoids.
Yeah.
Which was funny because we watched Zoids and it came out, we're like, oh, this is Zoids. And it's like, no, this is the 3rd fucking generation of Zoids that you're watching.
Welcome.
There are 2 other shits.
Welcome to mid 2000s anime licensing. That's pretty much.
You're like, oh, okay. And that hold up to me, and then like Outlaw Star, I would want to watch that again now. Like I would have to have a reason. Like some people are like, I've never seen Outlaw Star. But I fucking love Outlaw Star. It's still a very good space odyssey.
Yes. But speaking of animes in general, there's an anime that I saw that I didn't even know that Lincoln had been watching it, so it's good that we both have seen it so we can chat about it.
I didn't know it came out because I don't watch cartoons or like watch TV anymore.
Or read news,
like...
or go on your phone, or interact with the human world in any... No, I'm just...
Well, okay, it's not like I'm going to see somebody off the street going like, did you know that like Yashahime's back? Like,
it's like...
which
Yo.
In hindsight is because I don't look like I actually watch anime. Like... like this doesn't help, but like as my own like looking like a normal person with a t-shirt and whatever, I'm not Naruto running, I'm not wearing like any cosplay normally. I do not look like I'm just like somebody you should walk up to like, have you seen Dragon Ball Z?
bro, you look like the kind of guy who I can talk to Yashahime with. So but yeah, so for those who don't know, Yashahime, it's the sequel to Inuyasha. If you didn't think Inuyasha needed a sequel, well, you got one anyways.
You didn't watch the ending. Because God knows, when we were watching the final season, we're like, oh, they finally have a final season? Oh, they finally killed Naraku, the guy who, like, my heart is in somebody else.
Give me the Shikon jewel shards.
You're like, you have to kill all my pieces. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you kill somebody's heart, they die.
Yeah.
But apparently, I'd also kill this guy's liver.
but yeah, I mean, number one, I haven't seen like every single Inuyasha episode in the history of Inuyasha.
Not even me.
Yeah, but you don't need to. And the thing is. I watched the entire final season, like when they said,
that's
"Okay,
all you really needed. You needed to watch 3 episodes of Inuyasha,
yeah,
and then the final season because most of Inuyasha was just sit boy,
yeah. Which in the first episode of Yashahime, this makes a return because I fully expected, okay, the first episode they're gonna be off to the races and you're gonna just see these new characters and like maybe they'll explain who the characters from the past are, but no, we get almost a classic episode of Inuyasha for this first episode. Like it's bookended with the new characters, and it's like it starts off where like. I forget her name. She's Inuyasha's daughter, correct?
Bashahime? No, it's not Bashi. Oh,
it's like,
fuck.
Yeah. See, it's hard to remember. But she's in the feudal era, and she's being like interrogated, like she's tied up, and they know she's.
Oh, you're talking about what's his. What the fuck is I'm thinking that Inuyasha's brother.
No. I'm thinking of the main character.
No, the main character is not the daughter of Inuyasha.
Okay. So I only watched the first episode. That's clear, right?
I know.
I know.
You can know it's not Inuyasha's.
I know. I know. I'm just saying. I know.
Okay, continue.
But yeah. So she's tied up. She's being interrogated, and they're like, "You're from the Reiwa village," and it's like, well, no, she's from the Reiwa era because she's from the present time. But and they found like a bicycle seat, and they show it to her, and she goes, "A bicycle seat? What's that doing here?" And they're like, "Aha! So you know what this device is."
Which, yes, that is a thing that would suck to be a time traveler, because you'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, I know." Oh shit.
You're like,
because it's just so used to it.
Yeah, you're like, well, I guess I guess I have to explain myself. But basically,
look over there's a cow.
Yeah. But basically, like after that, it goes into like a trip to the past, like almost a continuation from right where it left off, and you see
Roothead.
Yes, Roothead, the new villain who I assume is gonna be, he's gonna take over. Okay, he's spoiling it. He's telling me it's not the villain. I don't know. I can't watch it no more. I can't watch it no more. I'm joking. But yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, it felt like a classic episode of Inuyasha. Like if you closed your eyes, you would have thought you were watching the original show, because it had the villain of the week. It had the orchestra. It had the music. It had literally every character. They reintroduced Sashomaru, Kikyo, fucking, Shippo. Like literally every main character was brought back for this like one part, and
I never watched the dub, so like I've never heard Inuyasha's Japanese voice, and because of how like ingrained the English sub is, it's one of those things. Same thing as Full Metal. I will not watch it in Japanese.
You can't undo it. You can't.
I can't. I only broke that for Dragon Ball Z because I'm like, I'm not waiting forever.
Yeah, it's like I just have to listen to Goku's screechy child voice. but yeah, so I mean, I enjoyed the first episode because it gave the flashback, and it gave you the context of like if you were coming into the show brand new, like if you're a younger person who just never watched Inuyasha 20 years ago. It's been a long time. It's basically saying, hey, here's these people, here's the relation, and we're gonna set it up, and then we're gonna bring it back at the end where they introduce Yashahime, the other two, the bounty hunter and the demon slayer, which I'm like, okay, so it's like we have the same dynamic going here with like, people in their specific roles.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is weird. Like, so that was the first episode. I, of course, watched a little bit more. I'm not going to spoil anything. I just want you to know that is not.
Make me cry.
Well, no.
on a live stream, you're gonna make me cry in front of all these people.
I just want you to know it's not the first, like, time-wise. They do allude back to that first episode. It's not the first, like, them meeting each other, which is something I'd be like, I get why you didn't make this go into order, but at the same time, you kind of lost me. Where it was like, oh wait, are they meeting back again?
Well, as long as it's not like Peacemaker, that's we don't need that. Right?
Oh my god, that anime! Like, I think to this day that's the only anime I've ever was like, I'm going to sit down and watch this in one whole fucking day.
Yes.
And then just be like, so I saw the ending of the anime at the first 10 minutes of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole 12 episodes was like, when he's going to use his sword? When he's going to use his sword? You already saw him use his sword, and pretty much it was over. I think the only other anime that like disappointed me as much as like, well, in that action film, because there's been a million ecchis that have fucked me over. But like...
Interesting choice of words.
Just like, we're gonna fuck you with like bullshit logic. We'll just share them. Why did I watch 12 episodes of drama when you were just gonna share this nigga? Like, I don't understand what was going on here. But,
decisions
like,
were made.
Desert Punk was one of them. Desert Punk, both of us were disappointed by that ending. We're just like, he's the villain? Isn't he a pervy? I guess because he's a virgin, he's just like, I'm going to be an evil guy. Like, what the
He's a punk. That's all you can expect out of him. He's a punk. He's a desert punk.
It was such a weird ending. I'm just like, I guess I went on an experience. Thanks for that.
Yeah, like Cowboy Bebop is an experience. You know,
it's a good one though.
it's a good
Cowboy
one. It's a
Bebop
good one. I recommend Cowboy
is
Bebop.
amazing. Well, which is weird because I eventually want to watch that all throughout because I know I've seen it like bits and pieces.
Yes.
I also want to do that with Wolf Rain.
Ah.
I was like, I'm like, dude, I didn't get to see the ending. I watched every episode. I'll never forget that.
I like though that like my experience with Wolf Rain is the complete opposite. I barely saw the episodes, and I'm pretty sure that I saw the whole finale. So like, I mean, I won't spoil what I saw, but I'm pretty sure I watched the finale episode without watching like the whole series. I'm like, okay, but I'm sure it's great. I'm not gonna say Wolf Rain's bad because I haven't seen the whole thing, but
no, it wasn't like or Sacred I think is how you say it.
You were into that show. I never never watched it.
I was heavily into that show.
I never saw it.
And then like the weirdest thing, it was like I don't know if something happened with Toonami and they did not show the finale or whatever, but I'd never seen the finale. I thought I've seen the show. I was like, I've seen all the episodes and whatever. And then something compelled me to like look up the finale and be like, oh, this is the finale. I'm not gonna watch any of the show. I'm just gonna watch the fucking finale. And I was just like, why have I not seen it? It was so amazing. But they did try to do the whole bullshit, like, we're gonna like not show you who the person who won thing at the end. But of course, he did the signature thing he always does. So I'm just like, yeah, the guy with the fucking, I don't know, the guy who uses his fist as a weapon is the one who won because he literally used his fist in the air and went, yeah. I was like, of course he's the winner. Like, the fuck are you trying to, like, were you trying to do an Obito Toby bullshit? Like, oh, no, Toby's definitely an Obito. I'm like, I mean, he has the same Genju.
with the talk of like, you know, not airing all the episodes in Cartoon Network, you reminded me of what they did with Batman Brave and the Bold, where it was like, hey, the contract we had ran out for the licensing, so we're gonna air all the remaining episodes on one night, and then we'll never air them again. And it was literally like there was no anime. It was just all Batman. And I was like, hey, that's what they got to do.
But Cartoon Network has done some weird things. I still remember, like, the Iron Giant situation. The Deep Blue Sea, that came on twice.
You mean Deep Blue... Or you mean Blue Submarine? Or am I thinking of a different one?
I think it's the same thing.
Oh, no. Blue Submarine was the anime.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about an anime movie. Like that thing that was like, because it came on and it was like 4 hours long.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I mean, Blue Submarine was like an OVA thing, so it might have been. Yeah.
No, but it was a long.
Yes.
Because it was like the Earth. I don't know if the Earth was dying. I actually only remember like the merfish, and I was just like, that's weird.
The merfish.
Well, not a merfish. But yeah, no, that was one of those, like, it came on twice, and I never heard about it again.
Never saw it again.
Yeah, it was just like, okay.
Well, and then even Tenchi Muyo and stuff like that back in the day, like, they made you believe that thing was like a full-length anime series. When in reality, all of them were OVAs. So it was like, hey, we're going to show you Tenchi in Tokyo all next week. And it's like, okay. Then Tenchi Universe.
Oh, you remember when they did with Evangelion? We're going to show you one episode of Evangelion. For some fuck reason, here's that episode. Oh, you liked it? Cool. Oh, now we have to license this? Awesome. Well, 2 years later, Evangelion's coming back. Like, what?
I mean, to be honest, Evangelion, like, does not fit afternoon programming on anything, because think of the themes and the subjects. Do you really want like some 12-year-old kid watching the end of Evangelion, even though that's what everybody did?
Well, yeah, and even like before the end of Evangelion, because Japan has a thing, like, I guess because they think like kids just have to go through adult life before they become adults. So like they're 14 thinking about like, oh well, you know it's bad when indirect kisses becomes a fucking episode. I'm like, oh, she like drank this bottle and I drank this bottle. It's like an indirect kiss. Okay, yeah, they're gonna just talk about this for a minute. Oh, it's the whole fucking episode. Like he's like, this is not important. This is nothing. Like this.
It's like
I have had crushes when I was a child. This was not a big thing.
This is what simps do. This is simp stuff.
Like, again, it's a weird thing. Like, okay, everyone's had crushes and stuff, but like, I think the only important parts, like, if like a girl hugs you, you're like, oh, this is nice. But you don't be like marinate about this for the fucking unforeseeable future. And now this girl is part of like the many gallery of women. They're like, there could have been something.
It's like, have you ever been with a woman? It's like, no, but I was hugged by one, and I drank from the same water bottle.
Well, it's almost as bad as like American cartoons, and always when there's a teenager like, oh, I gotta lose my virginity. And I'm like, it's not that important. Like, lose it whenever you want. Don't. When it's good. When it's good.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
I'm sorry.
Don't lose it just whatever.
I mean when your body and your mind and your soul is right.
Right.
In chakras.
Everything's aligned. And don't just pick some random person off the street, okay?
Yeah, no, but like it's just a weird thing, especially with American cartoons, where they always like these guys are like 13 or whatever. They're like, well, you can't be a 13-year-old and still be a virgin. I'm like, yes, you should be.
You probably should be.
The fuck is wrong with you?
But that's the thing. That's the American version of having like what you were just explaining with the Japanese stuff. But the Japanese stuff is like, we don't care if you see blood. We don't care if you see violence. That's fine.
Oh yeah, but apparently in Japan. But again, Japan always has this problem because you could be a 35-year-old man, but if there's porn, well, we'll show you them kissing. We'll show chess, but genitalia, big ass fucking mosaic. What did you say?
I just said blur, but big ass mosaic is the best you could come up with. I like that. Big ass fucking mosaic, just right all over, even the tentacles.
Oh yeah, no, the mosaic on that. No, my favorite will always be what they did have, like the sister. Which again, I didn't even understand the point of the ecchi if this was just gonna happen. But when they did like the testament of my little devil's sister, horrible name, but like. But the whole thing was like there was a part where like they had to do some edgy thing, and then it was like, oh well, we have to put on the succubus mark, and I'm like, okay, this already makes no fucking sense. But then they're like teasing, and then they're like, oh, instead of showing you this or just fading the fucking black and having actual content, no, we're gonna just show up these very long times of fucking postcard because we can't do mosaic because it's so illicit. So we have to show these postcards of chibi versions of the characters doing this. I'm like, who's watching this for 10 whole minutes? Like, it was a 10 minutes. I'm just like, it just sounds bad. Like, thank God headsets exist because this just, like, imagine that playing in your fucking house, just them moaning weird moans and shit, and you're just like, I can't explain this to anybody.
Somebody walks right in and they hear it, but then they see this, and it's like, what are you watching? It's like, I don't even know. I started it. I feel like I'm losing brain cells watching this.
Well, it's the same thing as bathroom. Like, there's a scene in every single anime where we're going to have a bathhouse, and of course, because they're women, they all have boob ending. Even though their boobs are ridiculously too big. But of course they're going to play with each other. You're like, this doesn't happen. Bathhouses don't exist.
But there's also that like layer of fog that like mysteriously covers. But that's how you know whether you're watching an anime or a hentai. Because if it ain't there, it's a hentai.
Well, if it ain't there, also like with the hentai, it's like, oh, harems exist, and like women are just okay with sharing a dude. Also, somehow there's only one fucking dude ever. You're just like,
well, I know your favorite show is Cat Planet Cuties, but we won't even get into that because we don't have time.
Oh no, we ran out of time.
We ran out of time.
We ran out of time when we began. Okay,
Yeah.
just have
beginning.
a second in there. Boop.
Yeah.
But yes, Zach, tell them where they can. Well, most of it's on there, but just
oh no, our stuff. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. So, for people listening to the podcast and not watching it, it might sound weird. So,
sorry.
So let me explain to the people that are listening. W Von Lewis on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. You can see it on the screen, or you can hear it in your ears right now. Moshi Moshi Pod, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. That's on the thing down there, and my hand does not go through this graphic. So, but one of these days, I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. So I'll put my finger right through this little thing right here, and yeah, Moshi Moshi Pod. What did I say? Astralis.thrillist.com for the T-shirts, and the podcast is literally
just like
everywhere.
The one you're wearing.
Oh, I know, right? But it's reversed on the video. It's reversed, so it's kind of like.
Oh.
But it says Lincoln and Zach, so that's all you need to know. And it's like Keenan and Kel.
I was top billing for the first time in my life. No.
No,
he just changes all the shirts. Like no.
Well, if we sing the song, it'll be both. Because it'll be like Lincoln and Zach. Don't you mean Zach and Lincoln? We just need Coolio. Can we get Coolio to do like a cameo for us?
I don't want to get the email and then be like $1 million. Oh, I don't have that. I don't have that.
Oh, you said this was for a business? Yeah, 10 grand. It's like, well, we're a podcast, not a business. It's like podcast is business. I'm just living in a gangster's paradise. So.
Oh god. But yes,
yeah, podcast is everywhere.
We're everywhere. So that's Autoboom, Stitcher, Spotify. Yeah, now I have to look at myself as my brain's like remember things. So I said iTunes, I think.
Yep.
But Podcore and Autoboom. I think I said.
I think you got them. And we're gonna find
you. You can find me at my Twitter at Cheetador. I have a Facebook, which is my whole fucking name, Lincoln Washington Edwards. I keep remembering this is a mature stream and I can curse.
Yes.
But
yes.
just not putting F-bombs after F-bombs. But with everything else in this world and the next, BFN, bye for now.
And pork chop surprise sex.
surprise sex is the best sex if it's consensual.
With big fucking mosaics.
Dude, if somebody actually popped in, like, are you guys doing it? Oh, it's just no one can see. We're the only one here. You think you're the only one here. You just hear our audience. What? But yeah, deuces.